So in this video we're going to look at some basic dart manipulation. So we're going to first move the value of this dart into the waste, and we're going to remove this dart. So sometimes when you're making a pattern you don't want a dart, but they're there in the block, so you've got to know what to do with them. So this is what we're going to look at in this video. So what you're going to need is some tissue paper, any color, doesn't matter, some scissors. If you don't have tissue paper, you can use just another piece of paper. Tissue paper is good because you can see through and know you can trace it out. Yeah, so tissue paper, scissors, and also some sticky tape. Now I'm using the invisible tape just because if you do make a mistake it's easier to peel back, but normal tape is completely fine. You'll also need a pen. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is move this dart value into here. So we're getting rid of the seam that would have been there if there was a dart, and just making it into one dart. Alright, so grab your tissue paper. And we're going to trace out this section here. So we've got our darts, so they're empty space. Let me just shade this one too. So we don't want them there. So what happens when we sew it up is that's gone. So yeah, they get deleted. So what we're going to do is we're going to trace out this bit, which is the right side or the left side of your block. Alright, I've got a pen, you can use a pencil, and just make sure you're holding it flat. And you're going to trace. If you're not comfortable freehanding lines, grab a ruler, because you want to make it as straight as possible. Mark those notches that were in your underarm because you will need them. It's just good practice. Alright, so that's our point there. So once you've traced it out, it should look like that. Then you're going to grab your scissors and you're going to cut that piece out. Now it's a bit fiddly, so don't rush. Feel free to pause the video so you don't want to rip it. If it helps also, you can cut around the shape to make the piece of tissue paper smaller, so you've not got this massive thing following you around. Alright, so we've got our shape, which is this section here, your side section. Alright, so what we're going to do is you're going to meet your point up in the center, so make sure it's like a puzzle, you're just filling that space. Then what you're going to do is you're going to pivot it. So you're going to close out this dart. So you're going to close it over like that. And then it's going to, all that value is going to come into here. So if it helps, you can grab a pin and put it in that point so it stays in that point. Or use your hand, whatever is easiest for you. You're just going to pivot around like this. Now sometimes it doesn't match up, don't freak out, as long as this point is matching here. Then once it's in place, you're going to grab some sticky tape You don't need to stick it all the way around, just enough in place. So I'm just going to put a bit on this edge here and a bit at the top edge here. There we go. So now all this dart value is now in this space. So to finish this off, let's grab my blue marker. We're going to make sure this is even. So we're going to go from that point to this point and make it one straight line, because when you're sewing you don't want a jagged edge. There you go. Then we're going to just mark around our new pattern shape, because if this was your pattern you would be tracing it out so that you can then sew it. So we come to our new dart. This is the dart point, and the dart edge goes along like this. So it still includes the dart that was already here, but also the value that we've transferred into there. And also it'll be this line, but it's pretty clear. Okay. So that is, sorry, that laugh was my phone ringtone, not me. All right, so that is, we're transferring the value of the top bust dart into the waist bust dart. Yeah, all right. Okay, so now onto the back. Moving the back shoulder dart, like getting rid of it. So what we're going to do is a little bit more complicated than the front, because they don't meet, so we can't just swivel it out. So we've got to make a place for the dart to go. So one of those places that the dart can go, I'm going to use my square, but you can use your normal ruler, is into the underarm. Often this is done if you're putting a yoke in the back, but we'll get to the yokes a little bit later on. So you're going to just draw a line perpendicular, so square with your center back line, across, touching the point of your shoulder dart. Like that. So you got a line across here. Now what we're going to do, so we've created another place for the dart to go. So we're going to close out the dart value and put it into the shoulder. So, yep, this is the dart value, and it's going to go here. So once again, we're going to get some tissue paper. Because it's a small section, I've just grabbed a small piece of tissue paper because it's easier to use. And I'm going to trace out this section here. Not the dart, just everything this side of the dart. So once again, you can use a ruler if that is easier, or you can freehand like what I'm doing here. Depends how particular you like to be with straight lines. All right, now I'm just going to make a mark here that this is the, I'm just going to, yeah, just a little scribbly line, just so that I know that that's where it sits, because it's a very similar edges. So you want to make sure that you're putting it back in the right spot. All right, so I'm just going to cut it out. Okay, so I've got my scribbly line, which I did just to make sure I knew which one was to match at the bottom here. Okay, you're going to place your shape in the gap of where you just traced it. You're going to grab your pin and you're going to put the pin in the point so that you can pivot. And then you're just going to move it around and close off that dart. Then you're going to grab some tape, this, just going to do the two sides, like that. So as you can see, we have moved the dart value into this space here. So we've moved it like that. We've closed it out. All right, so our new piece, pattern piece, it's the same. We're just going to trace around. Grab your ruler, make sure this is flat, which it is. Beautiful. That. Now, getting to here, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So if you have a curved ruler or a snail curve, you can use that, or you can freehand. So what we're wanting to do is just make it smooth through there. So we're just wanting to make it, smooth through there. So I'm just going to freehand, just like this. And I'm not going to put what we've done, because we've put the dart value into the armhole, we don't actually have to make it a dart. It just kind of gets used up in the armhole. If you're putting a sleeve, then there'll just be less ease. And if it's sleeveless, it's just slightly bigger. But it means that you still get the shaping in your shoulder. Marking in those little notches. Making sure to grab this dart, circle, your back. All right, so hopefully you can see that. We have moved the dart, that green shaded area, into this area, and it is getting just dissolved and consumed, I guess, by the armhole. So that's what this blue line is. We've blended it in, so it's a nice straight line or curved line. So that is removing a dart from the shoulder of your back.